What's going on, everybody? It's JetsCentral coming back with another video, and obviously it's the Jets bye week, okay, right? Week 4, and normally I like my bye weeks placed later on into the season, right? That late November, early December when it's cold out, when teams are starting to make that playoff push, fighting for wild card spots and whatnot. It's the perfect time for bye weeks, okay? But interestingly enough, this bye week is coming at the perfect time for this Jets team. When you look at the roster from top to bottom, when you look at the coaching staff and how the first 3 games have played out, blowing the lead against Buffalo, completely torturous to watch, and then getting bludgeoned by Cleveland, getting destroyed by New England. It's evident, it's obvious that this Jets team needs a break. We need to get healthy. We need to get our quarterback back. We need to get C.J. Mosley back on track. We need to get Quinnen Williams healthy. And this coaching staff, too. I mean, this bye week is huge. Okay, we got to correct some of these mistakes. We got to get this thing rolling because, like you, I'm starting to feel like the season is starting to slip through our fingers, right? Or slip through our grasp. And it's only September. That is absolutely not the feeling that fans should have about their team. Starting 0-3 and just thinking to themselves, this season could be over before, we lost the race before it began. Very frustrating to think about, for sure, especially with all the hype going into the season. But I digress. The point of the video, obviously there's no preview video, there's no recap video this week for the Jets. So I was sitting there thinking to myself, what could I do this week for, to get you guys involved and to, really, something cool, something positive to talk about. So I was thinking to myself, what can I do? And I basically looked at the rest of the schedule. Okay, I looked at where we play, who we play, when we play, all these different teams. And I kind of went through, realistically speaking, again, taking into consideration how we've looked so far, and the history of Adam Gase and this coaching staff, and put together a little win-loss kind of, toss-up throughout the rest of the season, okay, to hopefully give you guys a realistic record of what could happen, okay? Now, just, quick little spoiler, quick little disclaimer. I'm not having the Jets go undefeated and making the playoffs or anything super, super crazy, but just things that I can see happening, okay? Given this Jets team bounces back and looks better than what we've seen over the past 3 weeks, right? Given these guys come back healthy and Adam Gase starts to roll a little bit. So first up, week 5 against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. Going to be a tough game. Okay, Philly actually looked really good last night against the Green Bay Packers. A lot of people were hopping off the Eagles bandwagon. I don't know why. They were a sleeping giant to begin with. They have so much talent on offense. Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, Miles Sanders, Ertz Wentz, whatever. Great offensive line. And of course, Doug Peterson. You can never count out Coach Douglas Peterson. So this is going to be a tough game. Okay, to say the least. This is going to be a very tough game. Philly's a hostile, stadium to play in. I'm going to chalk this one up as a loss. I don't, even though the Jets do have 2 weeks to prepare for the Eagles, going up against that defense, or that defensive front seven, that defensive line, I should say, because our offensive line has just looked god-awful this year, I think this is going to be a loss. So I got the dub going to Philly. Next up, at home against Dallas. Dallas has looked outstanding this season. Dallas's offensive line has played great. Dak Prescott has he has taken that next step to becoming the elite quarterback that he has the potential to be. He's really firing the ball downfield under Kellen Moore's guidance and tutelage. He's really blossoming into a really, really solid quarterback. It's really good to see. He has Zeke back. He has Amari Cooper back. He has guys stepping up, making plays. Randall Cobb, Jason Witten coming out of retirement to join this Cowboys team. Not to mention the Cowboys front seven is, they're tenacious, right? Tenacious D. And they got cornerbacks Byron Jones, Awuzie and stuff like that. This Cowboys team is for real. I could see this Dallas team making it to the NFC Championship. That's how much I like this Dallas squad, although I do think the Saints are going to beat them this week, but I digress. I got this one as another loss. Okay, so not looking good so far for our Jets. 0-5 with the bye week already completed. Week 7, home against the Patriots. All right. The Patriots have just been dominating the season, right? Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, they're all rolling. This Patriots squad looks like it's going to go back to the AFC Championship to square off against the Chiefs or the Ravens or one of these teams, possibly the Browns if they get hot. I wouldn't count out Houston. I'm kind of hopping off the Charger bandwagon as of right now. But in any case, this Pats team looks great, all right? Just like every other year. Again, another loss. Not looking too good. And by the way, if you guys want to click off this video because it's just too torturous to listen to all these losses and whatnot, I don't blame you. Feel free to do that. The Jets have definitely disappointed this season. I'm just being realistic here. Just trying to keep it real with you guys. Next up, at Jacksonville. Okay, this is where the season could start to turn. Foles is going to be out. They're starting a rookie quarterback in Gardner Minshew who has taken the league by storm. Doug Marrone and this Jacksonville Jaguar offensive coaching staff has done a fantastic job of putting Minshew in a position to have success as opposed to putting him in a position to have or to fail. It's not the perfect team, but they have they looked really good on prime time against the Titans. They looked good. Gardner Minshew was firing the football all across the field, intermediate, short, long. And even in the Houston game, Houston, I think, is a playoff team. They went toe-to-toe with Houston. This Jaguars team still has that great defense, even though at this point in the season they might not have a Jalen Ramsey. It's still a great defense nonetheless. A.J. Boye, Josh Allen. They got guys, Calais Campbell, on that Jaguar defense. It's going to be in Jacksonville, so it's going to be a tough game. I went to the game last year, and that was just, it was just child's play for the Jaguars last year. It was hot as hell. It was like 97 degrees, humid as hell. I went with UCF Jaguar. It was brutal. It was a brutal loss. But like I said before, this is a new Jets team. So this is where I could see the Jets maybe pulling off an upset. But for the sake of this video, for the sake of argument, being realistic, the Jaguars have the better chance to win. Again, another loss. So starting off the season, 8 weeks in, I don't have the Jets winning a game. So week 9 in Miami. Miami is an absolute train wreck this season. Brian Flores, what is going on? I don't know what's going on with Miami. The wide receivers just can't get open. They're dropping passes when they do get open. They're trading away all their, solid younger players. Stills, Tunsil, Kiko Alonso is kind of a veteran, but still nice, talented player on defense. Traded him away. Who else? Minka Fitzpatrick, one of my favorite players in the league. Kenyon Drake could be on the trade block as well. This team's obviously, I don't want to say tanking because I hate that word, but they're, again, I don't want to, label them as trying to lose games on purpose here, but they have their eyes set on the 2020 draft, all right? Whether it's Tua, whether it's Justin Herbert, what have you, Jerry Jeudy possibly, they're acquiring first-round picks. We're kind of seeing we saw the same kind of thing that Oakland did last season. Trading away Mack and Cooper and stuff like that. But nonetheless, in Miami, I actually have this game as a win. I think the Jets could go into Miami and get the W. Hopefully we can, because with a team with wild card expectations like the Jets going up against a team that was expected to finish bottom 3 in the league in the Miami Dolphins, we better go down to Miami and win. Barring any injuries, of course. I think this is going to be a huge game for Adam Gase. You take a look back in, I believe, 2016. When he first got the job for Miami, he actually went on a huge run. He started off the season, I think, 1-5, 1-4, and then he rattled off 6 straight wins and propelled the Dolphins to the playoffs. Not saying that that same scenario is going to play itself out this year, but I'm just saying it's been done before. This is football. This is why we love the sport. So I see us winning in Miami. Okay, so we finally get a dub. Next up, week 10, home against the New York Giants. Again, another winnable game. The Jets are more talented than this Giants team. I know everybody's obsessed with Daniel Jones and, his win in Tampa Bay, not taking anything away from the Giants win or from Daniel Jones, but the Bucs should have won that game. I know it, you know it. 2 missed extra points and a missed field goal. The Bucs did everything in that game to lose, and they ended up losing, so absolutely embarrassing. But I think the Jets are better than the Giants, okay? I think at this point in the season, we don't really know what's going on with Saquon Barkley. He could be out 4 to 8 weeks. Who even knows at the end of the 8 weeks if he comes back 100% healthy, okay? So we don't really know. I'm going to chalk this one up as another win. This is a game that the Jets should win. We are more talented than the Giants. We are better than the Giants. We should win this game, all right? So 2 wins on the year. Going into week 11 at Washington. Okay, again, another winnable game. I love me some Washington Redskins defense, right? Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Josh Norman, Ryan Kerrigan. I could go on and on and on. Landon Collins. They don't have Reuben Foster. They're going to get him back. He's going to be great. Montez Sweat, what have you. I love the Redskins defense. This is going to be a questionable game. It's going to be a toss-up game. I could see it going either way. Who's going to be starting at quarterback for the Redskins? Is it going to be Haskins? Is it going to be Keenum? We don't know. Going to be in Washington. It's going to be tough, but I think coming off a 2-game win streak, again, the Jets can maybe pull one out of the hat. The Jets could pull out a victory here, all right? So, I'm 3 straight wins, 3 back-to-back-to-back wins. After starting the season off, right, 8 weeks in the year, winless. Pretty solid stuff. I mean, not as far as our expectations going into the season, but hey, it is what it is. Week 12, home against the Raiders. Keep in mind, we're not flying cross-country to go to Oakland. Oakland's flying cross-country to come to us, all right? Winnable game. The Oakland Raiders looked great against Denver. But the games before, when you look at the Raiders' schedule before the games leading up to playing the Jets, it's a tough schedule. Okay, this is again another winnable game. I could see the Jets getting another victory here. All right, so what are we at? We beat the Dolphins, we beat the Giants, we beat the Redskins, possibly could beat the Raiders. All right, 4 wins. Next in Cincinnati. Okay, in Cincinnati, I'm not kidding here. Cincinnati's a team, winless on the year. They're kind of depleted with talent. Their best players, ironically, just like the Jets, are all hurt. Cordy Glenn, Jonah Williams, A.J. Green. I mean, at this point in the season, A.J. Green could be back, but, if he doesn't want to come back, I don't blame him. In Cincinnati, so it's going to be cold. Cincinnati's, it was expected to finish bottom 5 in the league, right? This is a team that I could definitely foresee picking top 3 and getting their quarterback of the future, moving on from Andy Dalton. So again, the Jets are more talented than the Bengals. Now, I will say the Bengals defense has impressed me, and I love Zach Taylor. Everybody's looking at the Zach Taylor hire already, and they're saying, 0-3, this guy sucks. Not in the least. Nobody could go into Cincinnati with this team and just dominate. 8-8 would be absolutely spectacular for the Bengals, so I applaud Zach Taylor. He's doing a fantastic job. But as far as the Jets and the Bengals go, the Jets, on paper, are the better team. They have the more experienced coach. They have the better overall roster. I got to go with the Jets in this one, all right? Week 14, moving on, the Miami Dolphins at home. Again, another victory. So the Jets have just rattled off, of course, hypothetically speaking, 6 straight wins. 6 straight wins. After starting the season off 0-8, including the bye week, we're now 6-8 moving forward into week 15. This is where the season gets a little, or the weeks start to get a little rough. Going to Baltimore in the cold, definitely a loss. Baltimore was actually one of my teams that I had before the season, dominating and winning the AFC North. That's looking like it's going to be true. They're just the better team. All right, they are just way better coached, way better players. Baltimore getting the victory. Us obviously taking the loss. 9 losses. Home against Steelers, week 16. With Ben being out, them not, having Antonio Brown, still a formidable team. I really like the pieces on defense, acquiring Minkah Fitzpatrick. And by the way, it's really interesting. Pittsburgh, kind of growing up, when I was a little kid, I always thought of Pittsburgh as like, that suffocating defense, the steel curtain, whatever, Ike Taylor, Palomalu, these guys, all these great defensive players, Ryan Clark. And then they kind of shifted gears and went away from defense, and they kind of went all offense with, whether it's, Heath Miller, Hines Ward, Juju Smith, Antonio Brown, all these different guys, Antonio Holmes, Plexico Burress, Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, all these different guys, James Conner, Emmanuel Sanders. They had all of these different guys on offense, and they kind of shifted gears to the offensive side where it was just like offensive, just complete aerial raid, just putting up points against anybody. They could score on anybody. And now it's starting to shift back to the defense, right? With guys like Minkah Fitzpatrick, guys like Edmonds at the safety position, TJ Watt, Devin Bush, right? They're starting to acquire some nice young cornerstones on that defense. I'm really liking where, the direction that Pittsburgh going in. But as far as week 16 goes, Ben will not be playing. This Steelers team they haven't won a game this year, just like us. They're 0-3. We should win this game. I think even with Big Ben healthy, even if he were to play this game, I think the Jets could still pull this one out. All right, but he's not. It's going to be Mason Rudolph, possibly, barring any injury. This is going to be chalked up as a Jets W. All right. And then week 17, it's going to be at Buffalo. All right. At Buffalo. Buffalo's looked great this season. People still want to keep ignoring Buffalo for whatever reason. Keep writing them off and just saying, oh, they're babying Josh Allen. They're actually not. If you watch the games, Josh Allen is taking off this season. He's making full field reads, sending plays with his feet. And, it's a completely false narrative that people are pushing, that he's too inaccurate to play the quarterback position. If you actually sit down and watch a full Buffalo Bills game, you'll actually see that he's actually not inaccurate at all. But anyway, Buffalo's look great. Their defense could be top 3. Really like some of their pieces on defense. Some of their guys on offense, very, very talented as well. They're not a finished product on offense. Under the guidance of Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator. I'm not the biggest fan of the offense, but he's doing a decent job of trying to surround or put Josh Allen in a position to have some success. But, some of the game plans early on in the season I don't really like, with the short passing and stuff like that. I don't really think that's Josh Allen's game. But nonetheless, it's working and they're winning games. Granted, they haven't really beat the best of competition. They beat the Giants, bottom team. They beat the Jets, a bottom team. And they beat the Bengals, another bottom team. So we'll see how the season plays out for Buffalo. They actually have a really solid schedule as well. They can win 10, 11 games this season for sure. But week 17, I'm going to go with a loss. All right, I'm going to go with a loss. All right, so let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 wins, 9 losses. Definitely not the season we were expecting. Definitely not the season we were hoping for. And I know a lot of Jets fans will be very irritated with that, because now all of a sudden ownership could buy into Adam Gase and say, oh, he won 7 games. Let's keep him around. Who would have who would have thought that Sam Darnold would have missed the first or weeks 2 and 3? What if he would have been healthy? What if CJ Mosley would have been healthy early on in the season? All these questions start to arise. We don't have a top 5 pick. We don't have a top 10 pick. We're picking 12, 13, 14, somewhere in that range. So we're not getting that day one superstar side, or we don't have a higher chance of getting that superstar player. So could be that could honestly, even though we're winning games here and we go on the nice little win streak, from a big picture point of view, when you take a step back and look at it from an outsider looking in, it could be actually bad to finish 7-9. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out. 17-minute video going on 18 minutes, so I appreciate everybody that stuck around. I know I kind of rambled here and there, but in any case, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you think we're gonna do the Jets even have a chance this season to turn this thing around? I think there's a chance. I'm not ready to write them off yet. I am done. I didn't like the Adam Gase hire. I'm really I'm on my getting the last straw here with Adam Gase. Because it could be a Steve Wilks situation. Remember, last year, Steve Wilks brought in to be the answer, fired after 1 season because he just didn't show anything. So, could be a Steve Wilks situation. We'll see what happens. And, so thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Jets.